Hi guys, it's me, Rusty 78609, Central Texas, USA. It is April the 23rd, correct, Saturday, 9:33 a.m. Central Standard Time, 65 degrees, 66% humidity, and the barometer is 30.14 and steady. And today I ran into a guy as I was walking this morning and was talking to him, and he was telling me about he wanted to get rid of his lakefront property. And then he mentioned what he had paid for the property when he bought it like 20 years ago, and it was pennies. And it occurred to me that for those of you people out there that do full time RV like I do, and you are considering the possibility of acquiring a home base, there's really another upside that I didn't touch on. And that upside is that if you buy a piece of property virtually anywhere, the chances of losing money on it are almost zero. The chances of making money on it are in the 90 percentile. So bear that in mind as you look at property, that it's not a dead investment. For example, the places I bought here, my lots that I bought here, I guess around 12 years ago approximately. Uh, I won't tell you what I paid for them, but I can tell you right now they've gone up. The last sale of a lot near me was down the street that way, or which would be west, about three-quarters of a mile, and it sold for about $6,000 a lot. Well, I can tell you right now, I paid a hell of a lot less than that, and so that's good to know. And another thing you need to just bear in mind if you're going to do a home base thing, uh, that's a transferable asset. If you when you pass away, that goes to your heirs, whoever they are. It's not like it's just a good investment. It's so much better than renting a place at an RV park, which I know I have done it. I have lived in hundreds of RV parks, and there's some of them are pretty nice, and some of them are crap. But overall, you're just pouring your money down a hole. Uh, at a RV park, sometimes you get free Wi-Fi, free cable, TV. Of course, your water's free. Sometimes you have to, if you're paying by the month, you usually have to pay for your electric in most cases. But and if you own a home base, you're going to have to pay all of your utilities. Your water's going to cost you $50 a month. Your electric's going to cost you whatever it normally costs you, probably $75 a month in that range, average. And then you'll have your property taxes on top of that, which are pennies. The only thing that counts towards property taxes in Texas is the real estate and then improvements. Now the RV that you put on the lot is not an improvement because it's still got the wheels on it. It's still quote mobile, so it doesn't count. The appraisal districts do not count that as added value to your property. The only thing they will count is if you add a cover, an aluminum cover, or if you add a deck, or possibly if you have to build a road or do some other minor improvement, they'll add those. But all of those will be pennies. I mean, I can tell you my property taxes on 3 lots here run me about $120 a year, a year. That's all taxes. That's city, county, and school. And that's pennies, okay? But anyway, back to the guy that had the lake house. This is kind of an interesting story. The value of his lake house, he told me, on the property rolls is about three-quarters of a million. So that tells me that if he put it on the market, he could probably get close to $1 million for it. And he paid he paid $75,000 for that place 22 years ago. You hear me? Unbelievable. Money makes money. But anyway, the reason he thinking about getting rid of it, as with everything, I mean, he lives 4 hours from the waterfront here. It's on the Colorado River. They have the area I live near on the Colorado River is the spot that you would like to have because it's on the Colorado arm of Lake LBJ, just below Inks Lake Dam, and the water's calm, constant level. all the time. It's beautiful. There's big boulders out in the water and stuff. I mean, it's really, really a scenic area. So, having said that, um, his reason for getting rid of the property, of course, is like everyone else. As we get older, we have grandchildren and so forth, and we think that they want to visit us. They don't. They freaking don't. And so what he's found out is they have that lake. His wife doesn't even come to the lake house anymore. It's just him. And every now and then he can get one or two of his kids to show up and his grandkids for a day or two or three, and that's it. And he's pretty much given up on that because now he says his children have homes with swimming pools, and the kids, the grandkids, don't want to come get in the river because the water's dirty, and they like the swimming pool, and they feel much safer in the swimming pool, of course, because there's no evil things. You know, you can't see. Well, you can actually in the Colorado River here. You can see down several feet. The water's pretty clear, unless it's after a rain, and then the river gets pretty murky with runoff. But anyway, the purpose of this video is just to point out for you people that full time and or anybody else watching this video, land is a good investment. I have never lost money on land ever, and I have invested in a lot of it. I bought some on Terlingua Ranch. I bought some in Victoria. I bought 4 places in Victoria, Texas, Nordheim, Texas. Where else did I buy property? San Antonio, Texas. Had some property over in Bandera, Texas at one time. And I never lost a dime. I always made good money on selling those. And I even owned some property in Cayenosa, Texas, a little old nothing town. I mean, I stumbled into it. I went into this little grocery store one day to get, it's in the middle of nowhere. And I was going from my place in Terlingua across through Midland. I was doing some work up near that time near Wichita Falls, Texas, Vernon, Texas. And when I went through Cayenosa, which again is a nothing little town, the only thing they had there is a little store and a restaurant, and that's it. And anyway, I went in the little store to get a cup of ice, and I noticed on the wall there was a sign. It says "Home for sale on Betty Street, $1,200." I thought, $1,200 for a home? What the hell is that? Maybe they left off a zero or two. So I asked the lady, a Mexican lady, and she spoke pretty good English. She said, "Yeah, it's true." So she walked outside with me and showed me, said, "Go right down here, 2 streets is Betty Street, turn right, and it'll be on the right-hand side. It's a little cinder block home. You can't miss it." So I did. I drove down there and looked at it, and a month later I owned it. I did. I bought it for $1,200, no questions asked. Why? Because it had water, septic, and electric. Those three things right there are worth 3,000 or 5 or more. So anyway, I did, and I actually lived in it for a while. I did. All the Mexicans in that town thought I was a narc. They did. But I did. When I'd go out there, I'd stay there because I thought it was just the neatest little place in the world. I to go to that little restaurant in the morning, have breakfast. I mean, homemade Mexican food. Hello. It was great. Anyway, I kept it for about, I don't know, 2 years. And then I got a call from a guy that worked at a gas plant out there, and he said he wanted to know if I wanted to sell that little place because he had to drive back and forth from Midland to work in Cayenosa, and he wanted to stay there Monday night through Thursday night and use that as his home base. And I said, well, make me an offer. And he did. He said he'd give me $5,000 for it. And I said, man, you got to be kidding. Hell, just the water, blah, blah, blah. And anyway, ended up, I sold it to him for $7,500 2 years later. You hear me? I made no improvements whatsoever. Oh, I did. I spent $200 on the roof. Some of the shingles had blown off, and I hired one of the locals to put some shingles up there and patch it a little bit. But anyway, that's another story about real estate, folks. You can do okay on it if you just if you're willing to take. Now, the downside of real estate, it ain't cash. It ain't, in other words, if you need to convert it quickly, you may have to take a hickey. But if you can hold on to it, then you'll come out. I promise you, you will. But anyway, the whole idea of this video is just to point out to you people that are interested in home base, full-time RVers, or whatever, anybody that's a full-time camper of any kind and just wants a place to call home. Another real benefit is the upside of making a profit if you ever want to turn that piece of property, because again, you make a few improvements or you add water, electric, different things, all that adds value. You'll get that back. at an RV park or any place you're renting, you're just throwing money down a hole in the ground. That's it. You're never going to get that back. Never. Anyway, this is Rusty. Rusty78609 is my channel. All lowercase, no spaces. And I full-time RV. I haven't in a while because I got tied into these wine and beer tasting events locally where I have my home base. I started it as a little business, part-time, and it's built over the past 4 years to 3/4 time. And I'm looking for a way to cut back on it a little bit right now. So anyway, having said that, you folks have a good day. I plan to. I got to do a beer tasting today for Shock Top. I'll tell you more about that when I get to the store in a little bit. And tomorrow I got another one, but I don't know what it is offhand. I'll tell you about it too. Anyway, the eye drops, for those of you that watched that video about the eye drops, the Refresh Plus eye drops, with no preservatives. I did one yesterday, and so far, unless it's just psychological, I haven't hardly rubbed my eyes at all. So, and I'm not going to do another one until my eyes start to bother me, because I don't want to trade one habit for another, or whatever you want to call it. I don't want to use them unless it's necessary, because I'll make that box that's supposed to last 30 days last 30 months. So anyway, enjoy your day. Thumbs up. Carpe diem. Bye bye. Igor fine spot. I just realized. Do you realize I just now noticed a wrinkle on my beautiful skin? God, look. What is this? I'm coming apart. No, no. Bye.